Please welcome Mia Rexach.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mia Rexach, and today I'm going to talk to you about the current situation of medical cannabis in Puerto Rico. So, in 2015, Puerto Rico legalized medical cannabis as a way to help alleviate the $74 billion debt the island is currently facing. Since then, the market has experienced a storm of issues, but even in the face of adversity, the market is giving indications of a bright economic future. Considering that Puerto Rico is mostly a conservative and religious culture, the main issue the industry has faced has been eliminating the stigma, stereotypes, and fear attached to it. So the most common misconceptions are that people think it's addictive, it kills brain cells, they worry about what others might think of them, they think they're gonna get high, and laziness. However, the main problem the industry has faced since its legalization has been a lack of proper education, thus people's perceptions on it have not changed. So, in order to combat ignorance and eliminate the fear attached to it, we need to normalize the conversation once and for all. For that reason, I'm launching an advocacy campaign that aims to destigmatize the conversation around medical cannabis in Puerto Rico. Viene Biene stands for the idea that cannabis can help the economy, but most importantly, it can significantly improve the lives of so many people. So translated, Viene Bien means it works well and it does well. My focus will be on targeting the older generation between the ages of 51 to 75 years old. And I chose this audience because they're currently facing the health issues related with aging, and they could greatly benefit from cannabis as an alternative to prescription medications. However, because they've had longer exposure to anti-cannabis news and less access to information, they're kind of afraid of it. So for that reason, our approach will be focused on targeting current patients who would then act as advocates for potential patients, making it a little bit easier. So why an advocacy campaign? Because Puerto Ricans are more likely to listen to friends or family for advice. They listen to people that they really trust, not the media, sometimes. So for our first phase, we will be launching Viene Bien, and we want to get exposure and spread the word through digital social media. So social engagement will be our key motivator. And let me show you how this works. So this is Mariana, and she's 24 years old. As per usual, she checks her Facebook, and when she clicks on it, she finds that there's everything from common misconceptions, debunked myths, truths about cannabis, patient testimonials, articles, and any news related to cannabis that they might know about and they want to share. And then another user case would be like this. This is Carmen. She's 72 years old and she suffers from arthritis. She's been a medical cannabis patient for 3 years now, and as per routine, she goes to the dispensary on a weekly basis to get her medications. Once she's there, she finds her info cards and she suddenly thinks about her friend Maria, who's been suffering from insomnia for years. So she takes a card and she gives it to her. When Maria receives the card, she goes online to our website to do some research, which leads us to our second phase of the campaign. On our second year, we will launch an information-centric platform that people can find everything from a list of registered medical conditions that cannabis can help treat, patient testimonials, small anecdotes, and anything related to people that have already experienced this, and info cards that are downloadable that they can share with friends or family via text or email to make the process a little bit more simple. We will also collaborate with 3 well-established dispensaries and like-minded organizations as a way to reach a wider audience. More specifically, we want potential brand advocates who could help push our campaign forward. So I'm also planning on partnering up with Selena, the Green Queen of Puerto Rico, who is currently a self-proclaimed medical cannabis advocate that is trying to push the same agenda as Viene Bien. For our third and final phase of our campaign, we will launch our official traditional media campaign. But why traditional media? It's a little bit outdated. On average, Puerto Ricans spend 85% of their times outside of their homes, which is on average 11.9 hours, and the average commute takes 30 minutes. So most of the people in the metropolitan area spend most of their day in their cars looking at billboards, posters, and things that are outside of their homes. So the final form of our campaign will show a diverse range of cannabis patients, along with personal anecdotes, which will tackle outdated stereotypes by providing a fresh look on it. Also, by placing posters in well-known urban and social areas, we will reach an even wider and more diverse audience. As a way of challenging the stigma, we will use bold statements that address the most common misconceptions, like cannabis makes you lose your memory. No, it doesn't. It's not a vehicle to get high, and it's definitely not a gateway drug. And all that information, you can find it on the website. So, why is it a good time to do this? Because medical cannabis has the potential to become one of the most important industries to the local economy of Puerto Rico, and here's why. There are currently 72,000 cannabis patients, and the projections for the end of 2019 are up to 100,000 patients registered. However, the industry has not been able to rise to the expected level of profit within the first 2 years that they had planned, so it has only reached a small percentage of the projected income. As of last year, the industry made $30 million in tax revenues and generated 20,000 jobs, which is good, but not enough. And according to an expert, the estimated projections for 2020 are about $100 million yearly in tax revenues. So that means that if we give the industry the push it needs, imagine what that would do for the economy for the next 10 years. And in hopes of mobilizing the industry even more, the Department of Health of Puerto Rico recently launched a digital platform that facilitates the process of acquiring the cannabis license with more ease. And they also announced that they will launch a testimonial campaign that centers around the phrase cannabis is well-being. Even though they're my only competitors at the moment, the key advantage on my end would be that I would be the only campaign that has visuals and it's design-oriented. So this provides an opportunity for potential collaboration for the future. And even though well-established dispensaries are educating their patients, there's still a pretty big disconnect between those who are already exposed to it compared to the rest of the population. That's why our value lies in being the only advocacy campaign and information-centric platform that focuses on cannabis education and reform. But in order to make this happen and make our campaign a reality, we need the help and support from our audience and sponsors. So as a nonprofit organization, we will rely mostly on crowdsourced donations that would help us achieve the first phase of our campaign within the first year. Our goal is to raise $10,000 by the end of this year. So, as I said, we want to gain audience attention through our Facebook and get the word out within the first year. And my goal is to reach an audience of at least 3,000 people. The Facebook fundraiser goal is 10,000 in order to achieve the second phase of the campaign, which is to launch our website. So for the second phase, besides the website, we want to partner up with dispensaries and like-minded organizations in order to get sponsors and more people on board. So that way we can get more traffic into our website and also raise money to launch the third phase of our campaign, which will be the actual traditional media campaign. Ideally, this would happen by the end of the third year. So this could be a turning point to radically change the Puerto Rican economy and culture of Puerto Rico. So let's start to talk about cannabis in a little bit more honest and open way and change the conversation once and for all. Thank you.